Bannock! You managed to access Carrick's logs. Congratulations. Dax to Cisco.
Go ahead, Lieutenant.
All logs are open, Captain. Bannock cracked both ciphers.
Well done. My compliments to the Ambassador. Dax, the Major and I have been discussing...
I'm advocating a preemptive strike on the drones.
Strike? When?
As soon as possible. Right now.
The Major feels that we should attack the drones now, before their numbers become unmanageable. Is the Ambassador there?
Bannock here, Captain.
A report, please, Ambassador, on your progress with the Scythians.
Going well, I'm happy to report, Captain.
Excellent. Then you found out where the drones are coming from, and why they're targeting Deep Space Nine.
Well, maybe not that well. But I found something in Ambassador Carrick's logs that might help. He said that the Scythians value individual words and economy of language. I'm going to try that approach. Try not to overwhelm them with words.
Economy of language. Let's hope that helps. What have you learned so far?
One of them mentioned Citadel. It's a place. I don't know where.
Go on.
One Scythian indicated he'd like to show Citadel to us.
It's clear you need to talk again with the Scythians and learn more. Perhaps what's left of Ambassador Carrick's logs will be of help. Cisco to Yarrow.
Yarrow here, Captain.
Ensign, are the Scythians available for negotiations? Ambassador Bannock.
Negative, sir. That is, they're not in the airlock. Captain, we have a malfunctioning airlock door here.
What do you mean?
The approach door, sir. It keeps opening and closing by itself.
Report it to engineering, Ensign, and if the Scythians show themselves, alert the Ambassador immediately.
Yes, sir. Yarrow out.
Benjamin, Bannock hasn't had a chance to...
Captain, the drones! We need to act!
That's enough! Major, you want to calmly tell Bannock and Dax your proposed plan of action?
Yes, sir. Look, the drones come here one at a time. When they're all here, they'll all attack. Why wait for that? Let's take the runabout, clean up the drones around the station, then follow the drones back to their source, destroying them one by one.
You understand what she's proposing, Ambassador?
So you think we should begin to fight this war on our initiative, not theirs?
Exactly. Make them wonder what will happen next.
You're saying that if we attack now, we can fight them one by one?
Infinitely better than tackling them all at once, yes.
Thank you, Major.
Dax, I take it you don't agree with Major Kira's plan?
No. We'll win the battle but lose the war. These second-wave drones are phaser-resistant. To defeat them, we'll have to use the photon torpedoes. Once we do, we'll see a new, deadlier drone appear. It's this third wave of drones that we must fear. And the sooner we attack any drone, the sooner this final wave will be upon us. If it arrives before the Defiant returns, we'll be out of surprises.
Bannock, you've heard the arguments. Your advice, please.
You'd take on the drones in a runabout? I wasn't aware they were combat vessels.
They're not. But I have a weapon sled on the Hudson now. Coupled phaser banks and torpedo launchers. Passable firepower.
The station would lay down covering fire too, of course.
Would it be possible to simulate such a mission before we risk it? In a holosuite, maybe?
I don't know. Dax?
I don't have complete data on the drones, but I could use an extrapolation modeling frame. I think it could be done, but it would take time.
Time? We're running out of, Ambassador.
You'd take the runabout out now and fight the drones? In the plasma storm?
The storm may actually be an advantage. It blocks their visual sensors. Look, I never said it would be easy.
You'd fly the runabout, Major? Who would ride tactical with you?
Crewman Paridis. He's got good reflexes. He'd probably volunteer. Why? You're not angling for the job, are you?
We need you here, Bannock.
I'd like to formally volunteer to be your tactical officer, Major.
Steady, Ambassador. We haven't decided to do the mission yet.
Thank you, Major. What do you think of Kira's idea, to follow the drones back to their source?
The drones come from somewhere beyond runabout range. I'm positive of that. We need the Defiant.
There is a deep space-capable ship here at the station. The Scythian ship.
Unfortunately for us, it belongs to someone else, and it's weaponless.
Lieutenant, you say the drones learn about our weapons and then send new drones resistant to them. What if we stopped them from getting the message?
Stop the courier drone, you mean?
Exactly.
Now that's an idea. Break their reinforcement chain.
I think the Ambassador has uncovered a new course of action. No runabout mission at this time. We continue preparations for the drone attack. I'm intrigued by the Ambassador's idea. Dax, see if you can create a simulated mission against the drones. Get it loaded into one of Quark's holosuites.
Yes, sir.
Major, when Dax alerts you that the drone buildup is complete, you will take the Hudson. This time, we'll make sure no courier drone escapes through the wormhole.
Yes, Captain.
Bannock, our best chance of survival depends on better understanding our enemy and our potential friends. Please consider your negotiations with the Scythians as a matter of the highest importance.
I understand.
Good. Cisco out.
Well, Bannock, despite your protestations, I see you have some diplomatic skills after all.
Jadzia, Carrick's logs. There's a lot of static.
Bannock, if you saw what metachlorinide does to equipment, almost everything has been corroded away.
I was wondering if you could help me listen to the logs, maybe decipher some of the trickier parts.
All right. Which ones in particular?
There's one here called Clarity. Something about a breakthrough with the Scythians.
Sounds like exactly what you need. Let's hear it.
Eureka! I believe I have the root cause of the Scythians' reticence. It is not fear of contact at all. Clarity of communication. Dear to them, they value individual. Context is our overly verbose. Overwhelm them. Economy. Minimal combinations. I now look forward to contact when I will be into use.
Our overly verbose something or other overwhelm them. I think he's saying we use too many words.
Clarity. Economy.
Try that next time you talk to the Scythians. Talk like they do. One word. The right word.
Some of the logs mention devices of some sort. Something valuable.
Valuable enough to kill for?
That's what I wondered, too. In one of his personal logs, he talks about something called refraction mantles.
Refraction mantle. Did he explain what it was?
He also talked about getting a hold of 7 very valuable devices. If those devices were the refraction mantles...
I think you better tell Odo about this. It sounds like you may have uncovered a motive for murder.
He tucked some tricorder scan data into his personal logs.
I'm going to download these scans into the station computer, Bannock. Maybe it can make some sense of all of this.
That's all for now, Lieutenant. Thanks. Computer. Promenade, level 7, section 5.
Hello? What's the matter with you? You look like you've seen a ghost. So, did Ambassador What's-His-Name demote you? For crashing that runabout, I mean.
Johnny, Ambassador Carrick is dead.
Carrick? Dead? I don't believe you.
It's true. Murdered, actually.
Murdered. But
Someone killed him in his room. Oh, it was gruesome.
really? Go on.
We don't know who did it. Odo and I are looking into it.
I see. So the killer could still be here. On the station.
Possibly. The murderer used a molecular inhibitor. It dissolved him.
Dissolved him.
I've been appointed ambassador in Carrick's place.
I see.
You hadn't heard? From Quark or anybody?
No.
Do you have any theories about who might have killed Carrick?
Theories? Theories? Look, a man is dead, on top of everything else. That's what I hate about this civilization we live in. The Alpha Quadrant, where everyone is so polite. Let's discuss theories. Nobody wants to discuss what's really going on. It's like this agreement that everyone has, all right? Except I never signed it. I don't even know what it is! It's like everyone's so pleased with everything. Space stations and food replicators and a room with a view of the stars.
What is wrong with you?
Wrong? I'll tell you what's wrong. People are still people, aren't they? Stubborn. They don't progress as fast as the technology would have you believe. Just maybe they've stopped progressing altogether. That's what I think.
Quit shouting, and we'll discuss what's really going on.
All right. It's my boss, Quark. He's in this murder thing up to his neck. Look, I want out of here. I want to go to the Gamma Quadrant.
What's so inviting in the Gamma Quadrant?
No bosses. Lots of room. You can find a planet all your own, Bannock. Breathe air no one's ever breathed before. That probably doesn't make any sense to you.
Oh, I don't know about that. But I have more questions. How is Quark involved with this murder? You don't think he did it?
I don't know exactly, but he's scared. Not scared of being arrested. Scared of being killed.
Who does Quark think would kill him? Those aliens with the fins?
The Lycotians? Which ones? The red ones or the blue ones?
I haven't seen any red Lycotians.
They were here earlier. They'd be the ones to fear, all right. Quark snubbed them in some business deal.
Tell me more about this business deal.
I don't know any more than that. But they weren't happy about it. The red Lycotians, I mean.
What happened to those red Lycotians? Where did they go?
When the plasma storm began to rise, they booked a transport out, just like everybody else.
Quark's been associating with the blue Lycotians.
Oh yes, they had some kind of shipment coming in. It was going to make them all rich, of course. You hear that a lot around the Dabo table.
Tell me more about this shipment. Was it from the Gamma Quadrant?
Yeah, and it was full of latinum. Priet, one of the blue Lycotians, told me that across the Dabo table. One of the red Lycotians happened to catch the remark, and that was the last time I saw them.
Who else could put Quark in fear for his life?
I don't know. Who killed Carrick? There. I've told you what I know about Quark.
Do you think Quark's gone into hiding?
Possibly. In one of his holosuites upstairs, maybe. Could be. Not a bad place to hide. Easy to lose yourself in the Argillian massage, for example. Want to see for yourself? Quark opened an account for you. Computer, this is Johnny. Confirm holosuite credit for customer Bannock.
Confirmed. Customer Bannock has 10 holosuite credits.
Thanks, Johnny. Goodbye.
Just a moment, Mr. Diplomat. I gave you the information you wanted. Are you going to just leave me here, stranded in the Alpha Quadrant?
I can't promise you anything, Johnny.
But you'll do what you can. Yeah, that's what Carrick told me. And, look what happened to him.
You? You knew Ambassador Carrick?
We met briefly when he was on his way to the Gamma Quadrant. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Computer, list available holosuite programs.
Voice identification. Vanek, Tyrion delegation. Complimentary credit verified. There are 2 holoprograms currently available at your credit level. Intercept at Kinsara 4. Panhelios 18, Depredator ambush.
Perfect. A little combat training.
Envoy. I mean Ambassador. We're still having a little...
Carlton Akira. Major, I've got the primary shaft couplings realigned now. You want to try it again?
Affirmative. Where can I take you, Ambassador?
The lower promenade, please.
Computer. Maintenance override 771. Promenade, level 7, section 5. Damn! Kira to Carlton. It's still failing in section 12.
I see it. Hang on.
I'm sorry, Ambassador. This should only take a minute. It's these old Cardassian systems. Once they're down, you have to drag them, kicking and screaming, back online. Has there been any word?
You mean about the Ambassador's murder?
I know this must be difficult for you. When I was in the Bajoran Resistance, my cell leader was tortured to death by the Cardassians. I had to take on his role, keep the mission intact. When that happens, there's no time to grieve.
I'm sure Mr. Odo will track down the killer.
Oh, you can count on it. If the killer is still on this station, they're gonna wish they'd never seen Deep Space Nine. Carlton, what's going on down there?
It's a support relay on 11, Major. Looks like it was fused to the casing. I'll need the particle torch.
Well, we don't have the particle torch. No one has the particle torch. You'll have to use a hand phaser.
All right. This'll take a minute.
Is this the same torch you asked Mr. Odo about?
What damnedest thing. It just disappeared. If it was smaller, I'd think Vol dragged it off. Brian's going to be furious if we don't find that thing before he gets back.
Who's O'Brien?
He's our chief of engineering. He's kind of precise about his tools.
Could someone have stolen it?
I was facing the only exit. I'd have been staring right at them. Like, it's just... There have been a lot of odd incidents lately.
Do you think it's because of the rising?
What did you say?
It's something the Vedic Rasmus told me about.
Rasmus. She's a very devoted student of the prophecies. Let's see. A cloud about the temple gates darkens rising night. Unbelievers tremble at the Harbinger's cleansing might.
Cloud about the temple gates. The plasma storm?
Why not? Our faith in the prophets is part of what kept Bajor whole while the Cardassians tried to tear us apart. The prophets use the sacred texts to instruct us and to warn us of the threats the future can hold.
Carl, Kira.
Kira here. Go ahead.
Sorry about the delay, Major, but melted duranium is harder than a...
Then a Cardassian's heart, I know. Ready for another try?
Yes, sir. Resetting the command buffer. Go ahead.
Keep your fingers crossed, Ambassador. Computer, maintenance override 771. Promenade, level 7, section 5. Good luck, Ambassador.
Computer. Take me to the habitat ring, section 6.
The Federation doesn't take kindly to the murder of one of its ambassadors.
I told you he didn't murder anybody. He was already... Never mind. Priet, are you through yet? The Tyrion!
I think you might want to consider very carefully where you aim that phaser.
I'm not afraid to kill you, Shapeshifter, or your friend.
It seems your anti-terrorist training has been useful once again. Lucky thing for both of us. Odo to Cisco.
Cisco here. What the hell's going on down there?
It seems two of our Lycosian guests became unhappy with our hospitality, Captain. Ambassador Bannock and I were just persuading them to remain.
I see. Any connection to the murder?
I intend to find out. Can you arrange to transport us to the brig?
My pleasure, Constable. On your signal. Cisco out.
What were they trying to do? When I walked in,
Steal a runabout. They tripped my security alarm when they started tampering with the airlock door.
they were going to fly a runabout into that storm?
A trip through a high-intensity disruption must have looked more attractive than the station brig.
Are you planning to interrogate them?
Oh, yes. It's one of the more rewarding parts of my job.
Well, I guess that solves our murder case.
I'm not so sure. Too many loose ends.
Were either of them carrying the murder weapon?
No, but they could have gotten rid of that in any disposal unit. It's more what they're not carrying.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, Carrick's case. If I wanted something so badly that I'd go to all the trouble of killing a Federation official for it, I wouldn't leave it behind in my escape. It'd help to know what it was that he was carrying. Were you able to uncover anything?
Something interesting turned up when I went through his logs. He brought back some highly classified devices from the Gamma Quadrant. Whatever they were, he thought they jeopardized his safety.
He may have been right. I wonder what our Lycosian friends will have to say about these highly classified devices.
I bet they'll have some interesting answers. When I spoke to Johnny Theron, she said these Lycosians and some others with red coloring talked about a shipment coming in from the Gamma Quadrant.
The Dabo girl. There were only 3 vessels scheduled to come in from the Gamma Quadrant, Ambassador. Yours, the Scythians, and Carrick's. What else did she tell you?
She's very interested in going to the Gamma Quadrant. I told her I'd help if I could.
How generous of you. If you meant it, I suggest you talk to Quark. Ask him about his business arrangement with Damon Mox. What else did she tell you?
She seems convinced that Quark's involved. I don't think she likes him much.
Neither would you if you spent half your time fighting for your pay credits and the other half fighting off his paws.
She became upset when I told her Carrick had been killed. I think she knew him.
The Dabo girl and the Ambassador. I'll look into it. I was just about to have a talk with Ms. Theron when I got the security breach alarm. Any other leads?
I met the Bajoran Vedic on the promenade.
Yes, I interviewed her earlier. She's up on the promenade again now, performing the Bajoran death chant. I don't think it's connected to Carrick.
Death chant? But it's not for Carrick?
I don't think so. The names she was praying over were Bajoran.
You've heard it before?
During the occupation, yes. There were a lot of deaths here then, mostly Bajoran. The Cardassians started to ban the chants as part of a demoralization program, but the Vedics were persistent. They made an arrangement with the body disposal unit, exchanging food, even clothing, for the names of the Bajoran dead.
To pray over? Quite a risk. Do their prophets demand this ritual?
I don't pretend to understand Bajoran theology, Ambassador, but I understand grief. It comforted them. Those days they took their comfort where they could. I'll contact you as soon as the scans come in. We may be charging these 2 with more than just attempted murder of a Federation diplomat. Odo to Ops.
Kira here.
Ready to transport, Major.
2 Lycosians and yourself direct to security. Affirmative. Energizing.
And Ambassador, thank you.